I am so over Tamra Judge. I know I say this every single week, but time after time, it's proven that. What did you guys ever find in Tamra redeeming? Because there was a sector of you that had been saying, "I want Tamra to come back. I want Tamra to come back." Some of you, those of you that have never said that, please show yourselves in the comments. Show yourselves in the live chat. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. We have a lot to unpack, including everything that's been going on with Shannon Beador. A lot of people are speaking out. A lot of things are happening. What is the future of Shannon and this show and her issues? Because I see a lot of people making excuses and a lot of people making jokes. And honestly, I don't find any of it funny. I don't. Especially if you watch that video footage of the car crash and then her speeding off and then parking her car and then faking it like nothing happened. But of course, she got arrested for DUI and hit and run. Let's talk about this. And we're going to also talk about this last episode. This is the last episode before the season finale. I'm okay with the season finale coming, very soon, because I kind of want to just kind of wrap this up. But to be honest with you, I'm not a fan, if you couldn't tell, of Tamra Judge. I'm not a fan of watching this show again next season if Tamra Judge is coming back to be a producer's pet, to stir things up. Because honestly, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it because it felt so forced. And Gina, girl, you probably knew it was time for me to have a moment, because the way that all of these ladies, I felt for Heather. Vicky, I don't know what Vicky was doing. I don't know if Vicky was just drunk. I don't know if she felt like we all have felt in regards to this. They've made us defend Heather Dubrow. They've made us come to her aid during this season, because we clearly see that all of them are annoyed by her success, annoyed by her money, annoyed by something. But it's not at the doing of Heather, like she's actively doing something. I don't feel like it's an LVP situation where she's a sniper from the side. I do think that she's clever, and I do think that she's smarter than the average housewife, but not to warrant what they've been doing. And the puppeteer that's been behind all of this has been Tamra Judge. Let's get into this episode, guys. As always, live chat. Shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to our Team Kempire, Royal Court, and Senior Royal channel members. To become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. And of course, shout out to our King's Guards. We could not do this without them. We are celebrating 300,000 subscribers here on the channel. I wish I could say thank you to each and every single comment and message, but I can't, because I don't have that kind of time. I would not be here. I'd be still responding to your messages and your comments. But thank you to all of you for all the love and support. And I know there's still a sector of you that have still not subscribed. I keep telling you, by not subscribing, you're missing out on content. I know you are trusting the algorithm will continue to show you videos that you watch and enjoy, but you can't rely on that, because you're missing out on our community posts. You're missing out on announcements. You're missing out on live shows. You're missing out on short content. Just saying. But if you're okay with missing out, you don't have to subscribe. It's okay. But thank you to all of you that have been subscribed. And for those that thought you were subscribed and you realized today that you're not, or you didn't realize that, it's a thing here on YouTube. Double check to make sure that you are still subscribed, and be sure to turn on your notifications if you haven't already. Let's get into a countdown, and then let's get into this episode.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. But Orange County has been in the news a lot this week, especially because of the Shannon Beador situation. As you know, Shannon Beador was arrested for DUI and hit and run. Apparently, we've seen the video footage. She was driving her car on Saturday night, drove into this person's home. We've seen the pictures. The pictures and the video really drive this home on what happened here and the seriousness of this. And I said to you before, when we were watching the video footage, you could literally see that there were a couple of people walking on that sidewalk. She could have ran into them. Someone could have been coming out of their home. She could have drove right into. Luckily, this home looked like it was made out of cement, and that's part of the reason why that this is not a lot more serious. But as always, we love to hear the legal opinion, because a lot of you are wondering, are you going to see a mugshot? Are you going to see what else did you guys want to see? I can't remember. There was something else that you guys wanted to see in regards to this arrest. I can't recall, but you're not going to see a mugshot. Because Radar Online tried to, because of the Freedom of Information Act. No, you're not going to see a mugshot. Sorry. I really don't need to see a mugshot because I can already picture what that looks like in my head. We've seen this woman intoxicated on this show. I don't need to see a mugshot because I already picture it in my head. Can't you? But let's take a listen to what our friends over at Emily D. Baker had to say in regards to what we can expect for Shannon and the consequences for what she's done.
Housewife arrested. Shannon Beador, Real Housewife of Orange County, was arrested Saturday for DUI and hit and run. Reports indicate that she had hit a house and then steered her vehicle back onto the road and stopped and got out with her dog. These are both misdemeanor charges. She was cited out, which means she will have to show up on a court date that was on her citation and deal with the DUI. That means she will likely lose her license, have to pay the fines, deal with classes, and deal with the license suspension for a period of time. We've seen this play out on Orange County before when Gina got a DUI as well. These are misdemeanor charges. Again, no one was injured. DUI with injury, hit and run with injury can be felonies. That's not what's happening here. So what comes next? As I said, a court date, loss of license, fines, and sometimes alcohol classes or AA classes are required. Yes, these are things that plead every single day in California courts, and that's probably what will happen here. Let me know your thoughts down below.
And be sure to check out Emily D. Baker on Instagram and, of course, here on YouTube. So she's going to lose her license. I mean, according to Jeff Lewis, he spoke to Shannon and said that she's going to go into counseling. There was a recent picture of Shannon and John Jansen, her ex. I mean, based off what the ladies have said about John Jansen and saying that he loves being on television, he loves the limelight, but he doesn't love Shannon. I don't know why she continues with this relationship. I don't love the fact that that is her support system. Someone that doesn't seem to really even love her genuinely. So that's a little concerning that that's who's with her right now. And according to these ladies, they drink together. So I'm a little concerned that this person is the person that's with her right now. As I've said countless times, we don't know. We are not experts to say that someone has a problem with alcohol or might be an alcoholic. But what I will say is that you were driving drunk. You were arrested. So obviously there's an issue that you need to deal with. And people like John Jansen, you don't need to be around. Look, anyone else agree with me? Live chat, replay crew. So we're going to continue to follow this. As I said before in my original video where I covered this story, I do feel as if this is going to be her story for next season. Some people will speculate that maybe she did this intentionally so that she had a storyline for next season. I don't think so, guys. I know it seems that way with these folks, but I really don't think so. I would hope not. I would hope not, but I really don't think so. A lot of you have said that you've watched Shannon over the years and you feel as if she's had this problem for a while now. Maybe, possibly. Anyways, so we were dealing with that this week. Let's talk about this episode. But before we get into the episode, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Be sure to share the video. It is subscribers only live chat. And be sure to let me know how you would rate this episode from 1 to 10. They are in Mexico. And then after watching the Anguilla trip that's happening on Roni, this is definitely more refreshing, more enjoyable to watch. And I have to say, very much like this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Mary Cosby, who is just a friend of, brought a lot in one episode. I feel as if the editors for this particular episode was highlighting Vicky Gunvalson a lot in this episode. And I have to say, there were moments that Vicky did make me laugh. But what I don't love is, because, last week we were talking about how Tamra and Vicky were coming for Jen's relationship. And we all can agree that we don't love Ryan for Jen, but she's an adult. And I agree with Emily. Emily's like, only thing I know about you is this Ryan situation, and I want to know more. And at the end of the day, you're an adult. I agree with Emily. You're an adult. If this is who you choose for your life, I support it. As long as he's not beating you, I will have your back. Hopefully, this is a prosperous relationship for you. But what I'm not going to do is continue these narratives that Tamra is doing amongst the group about someone that she once called a friend. That whole Shama experience, and then Tamra trying to make it seem like, oh, she really was affected by the Shama experience, and now she just wants to be, I'm just looking out for you. If that is what a friend is, then who needs enemies? Who needs enemies? I am so just looking at this Tamra situation and her return. This entire season, she has spent it trying to dog out Jen at every turn. And now she's trying to do the same thing with Heather as well. She's trying to turn the entire group. She's been in there putting sauce on every situation. What is the difference between what Tamra is doing and what Giselle has done? Well, Giselle, she crossed a whole other line last season, but we will leave that alone because they're coming back in November. All of them, unfortunately. So, as I said before, I'm not going to go through every single scene. I'm just going to talk about what played out in this episode. It's a fun episode. They're in Mexico. I like seeing the different places that they're going in Mexico. It's like that restaurant with the net and everything like that, and all those theatrics from Vicky and Shannon. I feel as if you're on reality TV long enough, you really do become a caricature of yourself. Because do I believe that all of their antics were purely genuine? No, I really don't. I feel like they know what the audience likes from them. They know what the audience is used to from them. So they chop it up. They chop it up for television. But unfortunately, I can read through it. You can read through it. The audience is not dumb. Was it a cute, funny moment? A little bit. Anyway, so as I said before, last week's episode ended with the Tamra versus Jen situation. Jen walks away. She's emotional. She calls Ryan. And her call to Ryan really wasn't to get Ryan's support. It really was to be like, Ryan, if there's something that you need to tell me, I need you to tell me, because I do not need Tamra being the one to tell me. Because is it he had a one-night stand with this woman, or did you have a year-long affair with this woman? I mean, I want to know too. Anyone else? I want to know. I need them to clarify. I hope not. But I hope whatever happens here, because I really do like Jen. I think Jen is a great addition, unlike the Jen and the Noella of last season. Who would have thought they would have mentioned them this episode? Heather apparently was calling them losers, but Tamra has been stirring the pot saying, no, you called the entire group losers. We will get back there. So Jen calls Ryan and she's very emotional. I have to say, Taylor, because I can't remember the years with Taylor on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, I can, but like I don't remember. I couldn't even tell you like who Taylor's her person. Maybe because she was also in that abusive relationship, so it's kind of hard to see who Taylor is. But I like seeing Taylor. I think Taylor has played her position well this season. I like the friendships that she's building amongst these ladies. She seems calm, but she seems like she can have a good time. You know what I mean? Like she's not bad. She's not completely boring like some other friend does. Hey, Moneta. Oh, sorry, Moneta. Moneta was not ready for that stray. I'm sorry. Anyways, so I'm liking Taylor. Bring her back. Bring her back. I would mean the only person I would not bring back, and I know this might be unpopular and this might be controversial, but you know I don't care. This is my review. That's my opinion. Thanks, Tamara. I wouldn't bring Tamara back. She had no storyline, and if we're just bringing Housewives to stir the pot, then you are lazy as a production team. Because it's not about having ladies that are coming in to stir the pot. It's about ladies that actually have personalities that are made for television. Apparently, Tamara's one of the people headed over to Traders. I don't even want to see her there. Like, I'm so averse to seeing Tamara on television. And I wasn't that way when I watched her on Ultimate Girl Trip. Because, I didn't know I knew who she was, but I never really watched her on Orange County. So when I saw her in Ultimate Girl Show, I was like, oh, she seems nice. Because she wasn't dead set on trying to, be something or produce a moment. She just had these really quirky, funny moments with Vicky. And I was like, all right, she seems okay. I mean, I didn't hate her. I didn't love her. But I was like, all right. I was like, let me see what she's going to bring this season. And she's brought nothing but chaos, but not chaos in a way that's made it interesting for me. Some of you did find it interesting. And like, what would we have had without Tamara? Something less annoying. But some people will say, Heather doesn't carry a show either. She's a little boring too. What I do enjoy about Heather, besides the life of luxury and things like that, I do like that she's witty. She's witty in her own way. And we've talked about this before. You can't have everyone that's over the top. You have to have someone that brings a little bit of a balance. And I can't say any of these other ladies bring balance. So Heather really is the most balanced person on here. You would think that would come from Emily, but no. You would think that would come from Gina. Definitely no. Definitely not Shannon. Jen maybe. But right now, we need Lapa Luxury. Jen's bringing in, Louis Uis and Inciagas and Pinnells. Sorry, Jen. I'm playing, Jen. But come on. I'm playing. I'm not your real friend. Your real friend is dogging you out on this show. So we have that at the top of this episode. So, of course, they're on a trip. So they're doing all the activities. Let me tell you something. Vicky, as I said before, has multiple moments in this episode that are funny. But her up in that, what do they call that thing? You guys will let me know in the live chat. And those of you that are watching Replay Crew, when they're up with the parachute. And she talked, again, I got a Mary Cosby moment where she said she knows someone that was on one of those things. And it got clipped during a storm. And the woman was sailing. She was like up there for hours and then landed on a roof and they couldn't get her. I don't believe that story. But it was funny. It was funny to hear. I was like, really, Vicky? That happened? And then Vicky up in the air with Heather screaming. I was like, I was entertained. Were you entertained? I was entertained. And if you're entertaining, what is better than a nice gift from Coldest? What is a nice gift from Coldest? We've been sponsored by Coldest before. They have water bottles that keeps your water cold for 36 plus hours, but they have other things as well. Head on over to coldest.com, but don't forget to use the discount code Kempire10 for 10% off of your order. All right. More information will be available in the description of this episode. All right. Enough of that. And if you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. If you haven't shared the video already, be sure to share the video. And if you missed yesterday's video, we had our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. We had the Remy Ma and Papoose cheating situation, allegedly. And we had another update in regards to the Jeezy and Jeannie Mai situation. So be sure to check any of those videos out. Right now, we are talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Real Housewives of Orange County, guys. All right. So they're doing the different activities. One is like up in the air, or her and Heather, Vicky and Heather up in the air. The other three went to the shaman, which we've seen a shaman in Mexico multiple times. When I go to Mexico, I need to go do a shaman. But do I really believe that the only person I feel like that got something out of that situation was Jen and Shannon? Tamara was just there. And then Jen, because she has anyone that adopts children, fosters animals, is going to have a soft heart. So I'm not going to ask Jen to step out of who she is. But at the same time, she also says to Heather, I need to start setting boundaries with Tamara. Yes, you do. Because Tamara has dogged Jen out this entire season. She's made Jen her storyline. And then she wants to kind of sugarcoat it. I'm just looking out for you. I'm looking out for my friend. I always speak my mind. I did it with you, Vicky. Whatever. Look, whatever. She's a grown adult. Mind your business. Mind the business that pays you. This is not the business that pays you. Oh, some might say, well, the show pays her. It's still not the business that pays you. Your own personal storyline is what pays you. Look, I am so tired of Tamara Judge because I feel like every single week I'm saying the same thing about Tamara, but every single week it's the same behavior from Tamara. She's draining. She's a toxic friend. That is not someone I would want to be friends with in real life or even on a show. Like I would never want to work with her. Oh no. Just me speaking. You guys know you have a right to have a difference of opinion. You have a right to share. You know what, Kempire, think about it. She's done this, and this. What would we have without her this season? I'd probably be less annoyed. Look, maybe. Anyways, moving on. What else did I want to talk about in regards to this episode? I feel like they're just bullying Heather at this point. I hate to use that word, but I do feel like everyone is just Emily's doing it. Now Gina, when they sit down to have this moment, Gina, it felt so forced. This moment when Tamara wanted to say like, oh, she calls you guys losers. And Heather's correct. You literally have been saying that Tamara stirs the pot. You said that she has a spoon in her purse. So why would you automatically believe Tamara and then have this fit? You know why she automatically did that? And she's like, I gotta get up. I gotta get up from the table. It felt so. Look, hold on. Well, that too.
And sing.
Just saying, it felt very forced. But we already know Gina's position for next season is secured. You know why it's secured? Because of Shannon's DUI. Because Shannon, you secured her spot for next season. Because you know she's going to have opinions. Sidebar, I forgot to talk about this. A bunch of ex-castmates have been sharing their opinions about Shannon's DUI. I know Bronwyn spoke out. Another one spoke out. I feel as if some of these people are saying the same thing. Is Shannon fishing these stories to them, like these statements to them? Because they all feel like they're saying the same thing. They all are making excuses for Shannon. Well, she's had a tough year. Look, don't let me turn into Sai from Roni right now. You had a tough year. Go talk to someone that lives in Maui that has lost their home. Yeah, she's had I don't even want to say tough year. She's had a challenging year. But there have been plenty of other people that don't get in a car and drink after drinking and take their dog with them and risk everyone's lives. I'm not trying to dog on Shannon because you know how much I do adore Shannon on this show. But I don't know that lady. Look, I don't know that lady. What I do know of that lady, she got in her car inebriated and could have killed someone. Just saying. Anyways. All right. So Gina makes this situation bigger than it needs to be because Heather points out, she's like, because Emily is still harping on, you told me that Shannon had all this negative stuff to say about me and Gina. And Heather clarifies, she's like, I didn't say it was Shannon. I said it was Tamara. And Tamara was causing and stirring the pot at BravoCon, according to sources. Like not even just for her ladies, the entire, like every Real Housewives cast, she was trying to stir the pot so she can get content for her podcast. Speaking of her podcast, I almost forgot about this too. So on her podcast, she gets really emotional. She's just like, I had just spoke to her and she never mentioned this. She probably didn't mention it to you, Tamara, because she knew that you would bring it up on your podcast for content. That's probably why she didn't mention it to you. And I'm sure now you're going to use this as your storyline for season 18. Pitiful. I'm just saying, it's just like, you have nothing else going on in your own life? You and Eddie? Like, I was almost interested. Like, remember the season started off with her pulling in with her motorcycle, and then we got to see Eddie, we got to see her mom. I was like, oh, wait. Remember, go rewind the tape. Rewind the tape when I was talking about when she was reintroduced on episode 1. I was like, okay, she understands the assignment when it comes to being a reality TV star. And then it's diverted completely from her own personal story to making Jen and that whole situation her personal story. So this is where the ladies start attacking Heather again. And she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. And then she says, I'm done with the show. But she really wasn't done with the show. But she kept on saying, I'm done with the show. Heather, you can't leave the show. Remember we were talking about Heather because she sold her home and got $55 million? Okay. Remember we were talking about that and she's like, well, maybe she'll go to Beverly Hills. No, because now I feel as if these ladies will feel like they ran you off the show. Even though I know you don't care, Heather, and you shouldn't, because you're $55 million richer than you were last year. But you can't leave. We need to get you something in Orange County temporarily for one more season. Because everyone's harping on Heather. And I said to you before, I'm like, don't make us defend Heather. And it's not because we don't like Heather. It's because Heather is not someone that needs to be defended. But when everybody is coming at her, you got Emily coming at her. Gina all of a sudden is coming at her. Tamara's coming at her. Shannon never liked her. And poor Vicky is like, I don't do this. I don't do this. She gets up from the table. Thank you, editors, for showing all the times that Vicky has argued with these ladies. Because for someone like me that has not watched all of the episodes, chapter and verse, they would have fell for it. But I already knew because I know some of I've gotten the cliff notes on Vicky Gunvalson, both on camera and off the camera. But Vicky, and then Vicky's like, I feel like, why are they ganging up on her? I think she was drunk. Why is it fast forward to 4 hours later, these ladies are refreshed. The Tres some of you said in the comment section, Tres Abellas. The Tres Amigas. The Tres Amigas. 4 hours later is refreshed and out drinking again. Having a good time. You know the producers wanted to have this moment. It's such a big thing for these ladies. To make a big thing of this, that the Tres Amigas are back together. For someone that's not even a friend of the show, they gave a lot to Vicky. Probably out of respect because she is someone who started this series and this franchise. So I thought that was nice. I'm kind of happy that Vicky, she kind of pulled back a little bit in regards to being thirsty to be on the show. I definitely think that she wants to be on this show, but this last episode didn't feel like she was doing antics because if she really wanted to be on the show, she also knows that she has to be in there with the ladies. She has to be in there with the ladies, but the camera was following her because she is the OG of the OC. A lot is happening. Next week is the season finale, and there's going to be more dumping on Heather. I cannot wait for the reunion because I did see, we already looked at the reunion seating, and I know a lot of people are concerned that there might be something going on between Tamara and Heather. Basically, after the reunion, they were hanging out. So all is well. All is well. I would never trust Tamara Judge. Even when all is well, like she made all is well with Jen this episode, she's made well with Jen multiple times this season. It's the same thing. She will throw you under the bus if it means keeping her rotten, spoiled orange. And people like that are dangerous and sad. In my humble opinion. Anyone else? I'm just saying. I'm trying to think if there was anything else in this episode that I wanted to talk about. I really didn't, and I really didn't take notes because I just felt like sometimes when I take notes, I miss out on the episode and the feeling of the episode. I also miss out on enjoying the episode. Why am I doing this if I'm not going to enjoy it, right? And I want you to enjoy talking about it. But I thought it was a solid episode. If I had to rate this episode, you guys let me know in the live chat. If you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter or on Twitch, let me know how you would rate this episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I thought it was a solid episode. It wasn't my favorite. Vicky helped this episode be a lot better. I'd probably give it a 7.5, 8. Probably like 7.5. But, maybe somewhere in the 7 to 10 range. Definitely not a 10, though. Just saying. All right, guys, let's get out of here with some music. But before we do, thank you to all of you that send in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. I don't see them until after the live, but I do appreciate your constant support. Thank you guys so much for us achieving 300,000 subscribers. The road to the next one is 400,000, 500,000, and then 1 million. We'll keep celebrating every 100,000, though. We'll keep celebrating every 100,000. The work continues, so let me get back to work. Thank you all for being here. Let's get out of here with some music. Next week is the season finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County, and then the reunion. So stay tuned for that. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section with the Later On crew. Later On crew, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you'd rate this episode, and your thoughts on this episode. Let's get out of here, and I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to like the video. Let's get out with some music.
Like a G, sipping Hennessy, President Sweet, looking like a young Barack Obama. Skipping to the beat, giving hella heat. I'ma need a seat just to count up all these dots and commas. I think it's evident I'm the better man, I'm the jam. I'ma have you crushing like a four-wheel monster. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Weight up on my shoulders, all this jewelry on me. I wear my shades inside cause I go blind just looking down. Walking like the man, sipping Chardonnay on the balcony, looking like a young Elvis Presley. I've been overseas, I've been underneath, I ain't never seen nothing like a prison 12 o'clock. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that. Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you